What's up, everybody? This is Mike here at Row Comics, and I apologize for. Well, first, let me get this out of the way. There it is. What's up, Brian? Happy new comic book day to you too, my friend. Y'all didn't think I was going to waste that Adam Hughes thumbnail, did you? Because I did have this stream planned for yesterday, but things happened at the beginning of the day. See, I am a one-man operation, like legitimately. So if shit don't get done, then it's on me. I mean, if I don't do it, it's. So yeah, yesterday, it was just. I'm here. I'm here today, and today is New Comic Book Day. So chances are, hopefully, maybe you've already been out and picked up your stuff. If not, because I do open for all my local people. I do open in 2 hours. Somebody has once said that those were rock and roll hours or whatever, and I'm like, no, it was just through time and errors and just seeing the way things happened. There was no reason for me to be here. I used to be, when I first opened the store, or rather, when I first bought the store, it was, I used to open at 11, and there was really no reason for me to be here at 11. I mean, it was foolish. And as time progressed, it morphed into eventually 3. And I'm fine with that because I will be here. Like any of my regulars that do have access to me and the store do know that if they say, hey, you know, I can't be here till whatever, I'll come in. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And I'm usually here past 7, so it doesn't have to be a race. You call me, I'll put something aside for you. I'm very easy, very flexible, yeah. So enough of this. We saw this screen for God knows how long. Let's get into the books because there aren't too many of them, unfortunately, because this is the 5th Wednesday of the month. And normally, Marvel, DC, Image, all of them, they operate on a 4 Wednesday week delivery schedule. So this being the 5th one, usually it's reserved for like annuals or specials or something like that. But I guess because of New York Comic Con, they decided to drop a few good things. You'll see. We'll start off with this here. And also, I have to apologize. Some of this stuff, like what I'm about to show you right now, this Absolute Batman #1, this is the second printing, gone. Because I do have regulars, and they do know that if there's something that they see, and they know that I'm getting it, they will send me a message asking me to put it aside for them and hold it till they can get down here today. So this is unfortunately one of those. They're all gone. Now, the problem with this is indicative of the problems with the comic book industry because this book here, I mean, they did rush it after what happened with the sales for the first printing, but we order these things 2 months in advance. And yes, there is an FOC, which is sometimes a month, maybe 3 weeks beforehand, but we still don't know how these books are going to do. We're just guessing. And sometimes it's like playing Russian roulette. You never know what's going to happen. For instance, Absolute Wonder Woman. I don't sell a lot of Wonder Woman. I sell some to my Tom King fans and maybe fans that appreciate good art because Daniel Samperi's art is just fantastic. But it doesn't sell as much as I would like it to. It definitely doesn't sell as much as DC would like it to. So when Absolute Wonder Woman was solicited, do I order a bunch of those? Despite the fact that I can't sell the main title with Tom King and great art by Daniel? Like, what do you do? And if it doesn't sell, unlike Barnes & Noble or other places that, you know, they can return books, these are bought and paid and owned by me. So do I want this stuff sitting on I mean, those of you that have been into the store see the amount of inventory that I have. Now, sometimes it could happen like with this Absolute Batman where it takes off and sometimes it doesn't. It's basically a crapshoot, and there's times where I can't afford to play craps, so that's a problem. They need to work on this. And actually, during the pandemic, what used to happen is if comic book stores across the country during the FOC, say we order 5,000 copies of any given book, it doesn't even matter. Sometimes DC and Marvel would overprint to have copies just in case there's stuff that, and this is the joke that I always say, but this is actually a fact, and it's very sad. UPS and FedEx, they don't necessarily handle your packages with the greatest of care. Not the drivers, but the people, the in-transit people. Because my drivers for FedEx and UPS, they both kick ass. Both of them. Okay? So when you get them, sometimes the books are damaged. Sometimes it's not missing. You might get extras of another book and then be short for one book, whatever the case may be. So Marvel and DC would overprint. That way you would be able to call those into your distributor and get replacement copies. Hopefully. That's the idea, knock on wood. But a lot of times, or if you wanted, say, for instance, Absolute Batman, what if it sold out on that Wednesday? You're like, oh, shit, I got to get some more copies. You'd be able to go in and reorder some copies and hopefully get them by the end of the week. That way, excuse me, you would have them to give to your customers or potential new customers. Since the pandemic, that doesn't work. Usually, if you don't order it, you're not going to get more copies of it. Absolute Batman, Ultimate Spider-Man, even something like, say, I don't know, Scarlet Witch or something like that, something small, that's what happens. So collectors, on the whole, they have that FOMO, especially on New Comic Book Day, where they have to get it, they want to lock it down and all that stuff. So imagine being a store owner where you want to make sure that you have enough copies for your regulars and for people who might just wander in, or those who are regulars but don't necessarily, they don't engage with you, or they don't feel comfortable asking you to put books aside or something like that, or for those of you that do files or pulls or whatever, they might not do something like that. So you want to have enough, and it's just not always possible. So that's my long-winded explanation of saying I don't have this anymore. So I'm sorry for showing it to you, but I did yesterday. But again, into Tuesday into Wednesday, I do have a lot of customers messaging me, asking me for stuff like that. So moving on, we are on action number 1073. This is cover A by Clayton Henry. And I saw someone else comment on this, another comic book YouTuber. And I do agree. I said this in one of my past threads, or past streams rather, that they need to lower the price on this book. I don't mind the monthly thing because it is kind of a throwback to the 80s when Action Comics Weekly was a thing, and it was really cool too. And I do like anthologies where there's different stories. It's not just one story and you're stuck with that. But what they need to do is they really need to lower the price, because $4.99, like, knock it off. Lower the price, drop the price, $3.99, $2.99, whatever it might be. It's a weekly book, okay? The quality is there. The art is good in both stories, and you got, I think Mark Waid does the first story. I don't know who does the second one. It looks like it might be Takari? Somebody. I can't, the text is very small on my OBS screen, so I apologize. But whoever's doing it, they're doing a pretty good job, and the quality is there, but let's cut the customers a break, But yeah, so that is cover A. Here we have Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween. This is issue number 2. This is a 10-issue miniseries, and this is cover A by Tim Sale. Now, most times, I just do one cover, but these other covers were so good that I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to throw them up there. This one here is by Klaus Janson, and this is cover B. And then there's this awesome cover C by J. Scott Campbell. I'm a sucker for J. Scott Campbell, especially when he draws Rogue. So that's cover C right there. Multiverses, Collision Detection, number 4. This is the penultimate issue of this 5-issue miniseries. And it's been fun. Kind of like the game, sort of, kind of. I mean, the game does get repetitious. And speaking to someone who does play Fortnite and does do the same exact thing in almost every match, I don't know why the repetition bothers me in this. I guess because there's more stuff to do in Fortnite, because despite the fact that I might do the same exact thing, the other players make it so it's not. Like, this is literally, you're just fighting. It's like, what's the other game? There's Super Smash Brothers. It's just like literally that, just with like Bugs Bunny and Scooby-Doo and DC characters and Steven Universe and Adventure Time and Looney Tunes, I mean, I don't know. So it's good once in a while, but you don't really want to sit there for an hour, half hour, playing it. Maybe if, depending on who you're playing with or against, maybe that might change it, Here we have Penguin, the Penguin Special. This is a one-shot. And I wish I could tell you who does anything on here, but as you can see from this graphic, they don't list the names unless they're down below where it says the Penguin. But I think that's just, no, it just tells you that it's on Max, HBO Max. I wish they would just go back to HBO Max. I wish they put HBO back in there, because HBO that has a name. That's like, that's a brand, and that should be there. Like this Max crap, it's just that. It's just crap. Go back to HBO Max. Even HBO Max, you know? But yeah, this was actually pretty good. I did thumb through it. They do reprint. There is a reprint in there, and seeing that art was phenomenal. I don't remember who did it, but it was just good to see it. So I'm glad for that. And then we have this. This is Poison Ivy, Swamp Thing, Feral Trees, #1. This is a one-shot, unfortunately. Hopefully. I would love to see a series, maybe a mini-series or a regular series with Ivy and Swamp Thing. That would be awesome. It just goes together. I don't understand why. I don't know if this is the first time that their paths have crossed like this, but I would like to see more of this. The art was pretty good. Mike Perkins does it, and he has done Swamp Thing in the past. I would like to see a little more. I mean, I like Ivy to look, curvaceous. So, but that's just me. But actually, Marcio Takara, I think is the gentleman's name, is doing Ivy currently, and I do like that art. So do something like that, or maybe, you know what, you know where I'm going. Go get Frank Cho to do it. Why not? I mean, he's just doing covers right now, but I would like to see him do that. And then we have this here. This is the final book for DC this week. Yes, this is the final one. This is Wonder Woman Uncovered, #1. There are some great covers. There's great art in this book. And this is basically just a book of the covers. And the thing that they do in here, I gotta, I really maybe shouldn't. It annoys me. It bothers me. But for some reason, DC, on the covers themselves, on the pages, they have text telling you who's the artist and who's the inker. And I don't mind that. I do like that. They should be, what's the word? Given credit. They should be credited. But not on the cover itself, not on the page itself. The idea of these books is to give you the art. So you are paying for the art. And you would like to get the art by itself without any sort of text on there. And yet, just putting that text there, it's really annoying. So DC, please knock that off, because there's some great art in this issue. And to me, it's ruined by the art, the text that's on there. Put it on the front page, put it on the inside cover, put it, do the first page, do the last page, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying do not credit the artist, because yes, I do want to know who does what, but put it on a separate thing. Just please do that. Next, I did put this in the DC folder instead of doing Marvel, because Marvel has way more books than DC does this week. But there's something huge. In fact, it's so huge that I'm going to distract you by saying how huge it is as I pull up exactly what's in this book, because I should have had this already up. But there is a book that came out this week that should be required reading. Actually, this should be in everybody's. Here we go. And I hate to go to Lex Luthor's site to get the text of what is exactly contained in this book, in this phenomenal book. But this is DC versus Marvel. This is an omnibus. And I just realized I had the book up on the screen while I'm hyping it up, trying to make you guys guess exactly what book it is. But my dumbass put it on the screen. So yes, it is DC versus Marvel. This is the first time that they have done something this major. And unfortunately, let me see, does Lex Luthor's site say how many pages? It does. 960 pages of awesomeness. There used to be a time where Marvel and DC would get together every once in a while and cross their characters over. And as a comic book fan, you want to see this stuff. You sit there and you're like, who would win in a fight? Hulk and Thing, they're both in the Marvel universe, but Superman, or say I can't even think of somebody now, Hulk. You know, you would wanna know the answers to these questions. Fans always do that. And back before people would get very offended or very tribalistic, they would actually approach these things in the spirit of fun. And nowadays, you can't open up one of these conversations without some sort of butthurt feelings or whatever, and it's ridiculous these days. But back in the day, you could have these conversations and be entertained by it. But it says here, this volume collects Superman versus Amazing Spider-Man #1, Marvel Treasury Edition #28. Now, I know they do this to because there was I forgot what book it was. It was it was one of those oversized. I think it was the Muhammad Ali versus Superman. And one of my customers, he didn't have it on his pull list or on the message that he sent me. I can't say pull list because I don't really do that sort of thing. But if you message me, I will pull stuff for you, most definitely. But he put Marvel Treasury or DC, maybe it was DC Special, whatever it was on there. And I'm like, how did you not put Superman versus Muhammad Ali? You didn't have that on your poll. He's like, no, it was there. It was DC Special or something like that. And I looked, and that is on there. But here, for some reason, they don't tell you what it is. But in this case, Marvel Treasury #28 happens to be Superman and Spider-Man, not versus Superman and Spider-Man. And looking here, it looks like it's a team up, or rather, Dr. Doom. And I'm trying to see who. It's very, very, very small. I apologize. But there's a DC villain there, too. I can't see who it is because it's very... Actually, I don't even know who the hell that is. Oh, the Parasite. It's right on the cover. Featuring the murderous menace of Dr. Doom and the Parasite. Okay, so Doom and the Parasite team up for some reason. But if you want to know why, you got to buy this book. And then there's DC. See, here we go. There's DC Special Series #27. Give me a moment as I find out who and what is in this. Oh, this is Batman versus the Hulk. Now this one says versus. That's quite telling. And then I see the Joker's there. I can't see who is there from. It does say the Shaper of Worlds on the cover. It says also featuring the vile villainy of the Joker and the Shaper of Worlds. So I don't know who exactly is the villain from the Marvel side, but I'm trying to see if Luther's site says anything. I don't know, but the cover is by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, and I'm assuming the art is too, and it's written by Len Wein. Yeah, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Nice. Then you have. Oh, yeah, this is probably the most popular out of everything that's in here. This was Marvel and DC Present, featuring the Uncanny X-Men and the New Teen Titans. In the 80s, those were the two most popular books. X-Men, that was the golden age. That was the golden age for the X-Men, written by Chris Claremont. And fantastic. Any of the things that you've seen Fox destroy in the movies has been done way better in the comics in the 80s. And that is the time period you should check out. And New Teen Titans was just as hot. And Marv Wolfman, George Perez does the cover. This cover that you've been staring at, that's the cover. That's the art that you would see in that book. I can't recommend New Teen Titans enough. Like, it's just it's incredible. You know what? I'm going to show you. There's another cover for this book. This what they call the direct market, and this one is by Jim Lee. And this is okay. I like Jim Lee a lot, but this is the book for me right here. I mean, this is the art. Okay, so there's Marvel and DC Present featuring the Uncanny X-Men and New Teen Titans. Then there's Batman Punisher, Lake of Fire #1. You also have Punisher Batman, Deadly Nights, #1, because as you can figure out, Batman Punisher was the DC output, and then Punisher Batman was the Marvel output, because they always have to have the name. It's kind of like in movies, how some people have their names bigger and on the top or whatever coming first. Usually you can figure out who exactly is the star of the movie. What's up, y'all? You got both of them? Yes, yes. Same here, my friend. I haven't even gotten to at the end about the inventory, but yes, I did get both of them. However, I did not order, as much as I might have liked some of them, I did not get the amalgam omnibus. I didn't think I'd be able to flip that. And then we have Darkseid versus Galactus, The Hunger, #1. Spider-Man and Batman, #1. Green Lantern, Silver Surfer, Unholy Alliances, #1. Silver Surfer, Superman, #1. Batman, Captain America, #1. Daredevil, Batman, #1. Batman, Spider-Man, #1. Superman, Fantastic Four, #1. Incredible Hulk versus Superman, #1. And last, but definitely not least, Batman, Daredevil, #1. If you are a fan of either of those universes, I strongly suggest grabbing this book because, from what I've heard, there's only one printing of this book, and this is it. And as my friend and fellow retailer Yule says, he's located in California, that not a lot of stores. These books, they are expensive. Omnibuses, Omnibuy, whatever it is, they are expensive. They are a lot of pages, but they are quite expensive. And for retailers to have them sitting on the shelves isn't really a good thing. See, like when you walk into my store, the first thing you see is Secret Six. There's a Secret Six omnibus. Now that book is the greatest book. I mean, New Teen Titans aside, because New Teen Titans was more like a series. Actually, so was Secret Six. But Secret Six is one of the greatest books that DC has ever put out. So I don't mind that book sitting there and collecting dust for as long as it takes for someone to realize the brilliance or hear me talk about the brilliance of this book and say, you know what? I'm going to invest $100. I'm going to invest $125. I'm going to invest $150 on this book. And I'm going to take your word for it because my word is everything in this store. If you ever hear me recommend a book with Rob Liefeld art, then you know I've sold out. I've just sold. I have no morals anymore. I mean, I know everybody has their thing, and that's fine. My store is like a Planet Fitness store, no judgment zone. But there are certain things that I will never recommend to people. I will tell you if the book sells or not, like, oh yeah, well, people like it or something like that. And I do get people that do, for one reason or another, see a Rob Liefeld book and go, oh, I must own this. Like, for instance, last week was the New Mutants 98 3D book. And there were people that bought that. Again, no judging. People like what they like. And that is A-okay. But, yeah. So, there you go. But yes, I strongly recommend this, and as I mentioned to you earlier, I do have a few of these. If you see this book, if anything I have said to you sounds interesting, I strongly recommend you send me a message either right now. Actually, keep the stream on, but just, some other way. There's a bunch of ways that you can get in touch with me, whichever way is convenient for you, and I will give them to you at the end if you want to hang around then and do that. But if you say, you know what, I do want to see the Teen Titans take on the X-Men. I do want to see, Spider-Man and Batman team up. I do want to see the Hulk fight Batman, even though that seems like a very uneven fight. But then again, Batman, this is back before Batman and his prep time thing, before that was a thing. But I would strongly suggest getting in touch with me, or whichever comic book store might be your local comic book store. Either or, but do that. So now we are going over into the MCU, and we are going to, actually, as I click, hold on one second. There we go. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 60. I did not put the variant covers for this, but if you want to see one variant cover, just look at my thumbnail. There's no way I was wasting that thumbnail. That is Adam Hughes. Now, I would have liked Mary Jane in something other than that abysmal-looking jackpot costume, but you know what? We got Black Cat, and she's looking Black Catty, so that was good enough for me. So yes, this is I want to say a triple size issue, and this is the final issue written by Zeb Wells, which might be a cause for celebration for some people. Me, there was some good stuff that he did. There was some stuff that I'm like, nah, but I'm eager to see what comes next. What's up, WZ? How's it going, my friend? Hope things are good down there, at least for the last week of civilization as we might know it. But yes, this was, I did read this, as I said. Spider-Man, always, always. Even when the Rogue series, the miniseries comes out, I will still always read Spider-Man first. I don't know why. The name of my store is Rogue Comics, so you see where my allegiances lie. But Spider-Man, there's just something about it, and he's not, I mean, he'd be in my top 10, but it's not like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Even if X-Men came out, and again, like I said, Rogue is going to have a miniseries. I think it's 5 issues coming out, where she's in the Savage Land. That's like one of the greatest eras of Rogue, as far as I'm concerned. So, but I would still read Amazing Spider-Man first. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. But let's stop with the psychoanalyzation of my reading habits and move on to Captain America number 14. Now, I don't know who did this cover, but this is a awesome cover. It's unfortunate that the interior... Actually, I can't say that. I harbor ill feelings towards Straczynski for the whole fiasco. Speaking of Spider-Man, the Spider-Man fiasco. So yeah, and also what he did with Superman. But this cover is awesome, and I do dig it. I just wish I knew who it was, because Spider-Man, Marvel, for some reason, on their file names, they don't put the artist unless it's a variant cover. And yes, WZ, that is quite a nice thumbnail. Hence the reason. I mean, I would have used the omnibus, the Marvel DC omnibus thumbnail, as a thumbnail, but I couldn't find a version of either one of those, although I would have used the George Perez art without the logo on there, unfortunately. Hence the reason I didn't go with that. But I most definitely would have gone with that instead. But I did put this. This is a variant by Dan Panosian. And this is just an awesome variant there. I don't exactly know. I mean, it's this Doom sitting. It looked like he's sitting on his throne. The popular Doom sitting on his throne thing. It's also an emote in Fortnite. But him sitting there with the shield, looking battle worn, and the blood, and it's just, this is an awesome cover. This is an awesome cover right here. So hence the reason you guys are seeing it. It was awesome enough for me to say, you know what? I'm going to throw this on the stream. Here we have Chasm, Curse of Cain, number 3. This is a 4-issue miniseries. And I honestly, I don't have warm and fuzzy feelings of the Clone Saga, but I don't hate it like a lot of comic book fans do. It just is. But, well, here's 2 of the people from the Clone Saga, and we'll just leave it at that. There's a second printing of this issue. This is Deadpool issue number 6. And this is the Antonio variant. I don't know what Antonio's first name is, but this is their variant. And then we have the always giving Rob Liefeld doing Deadpool team-up issue number 3. This is a 5-issue miniseries. And I'm just going to show it to you without commentary. And we're going to leave it there. Namor... issue number 4. This is an 8-issue miniseries, so this is the halfway point. And I gotta say, I don't know exactly what it is, but the Namor cover, the cover stock that they used for this cover was greater than any book that came out this week. I mean, outside of the foil. Was there a foil variant this week? Yeah, there was, I think, 1 or 2 foil variants. But whatever it was, I wish they would use this on all the books. And also lower the price. NYX number 4 is here. And I believe that's Magneto on the right-hand side. I do like the cover. I do like the art in the cover. And I think the art on the interior is good too. Then we have this, Phases of the Moon Knight number 3. This is the penultimate issue, 4-issue miniseries. And in this series, what they've been doing is they've been showing past Moon Knights, for lack of a better, Moon Knights, yeah. Because there were people before Mark Spector, believe it or not. And I'm not a fan of manga, but this is an anthology, so you know it suckered me in with that. But there are 2 stories in here, and one of them is drawn in a way that is outside the norm, so I did appreciate it a lot. And it involves one of the characters on this cover here. Up next, we have the penultimate issue of Predator versus Black Panther. And I do not know who did the art in this cover. I see a signature, but it's way small there. In fact, it's right there in T'Challa. But yeah. Star Wars: The Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising, issue number 3. Wow, there's a lot of 304s here. So this is the third 304. And Phil Noto cover right there. Then we have Ultimate X-Men, issue number 8. Peach Momoko handling all duties, story, art. I think she also puts the staples. She staples each and every individual issue. And I'm waiting for her to start delivering the issue to comic book stores. That would be awesome if she did that. Because, as I said, she does everything else in this book. And it's pretty good. Here we have Venom War Fantastic Four, number 1. This Doom and Kang, believe it or not, in a Venom War. I had to put this next cover because this is Walt Simonson, and I am here for this all day. So you can go with this, or you can go with this. I would prefer this. This is the B cover. I do know collectors out there always, they default to the A cover, but when you have something like this by Walt Simonson, you go with the B cover. And then last but not least for Marvel, we have... The only reason I would say this name is because the art in here by Juan Jose Rip. I'm always a Rip apologist, and I would recommend it based on... That's how they got me. That's how they got me with this book. They had Juan Jose Rip do the art. This is... I really just... It's kind of like being on camera and stuff like that. Like, it's something I don't like to do, and I always hesitate. But, like, saying this, like, you see what the name is there. Venom War... Zombiotes... Zombiotes, whatever. There it is. This is issue number 3. This is the final issue. 3-issue miniseries. And I also did put the Annie Wu variant there. It's okay, but this cover is better for me as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that, my friends, is the MCU for this week. Over in the indie world, we have a couple books. Very few books. It's no surprise, it's no secret that... Marvel and DC outsell the indie books here at my store. For a while there, Image was a very, very, very close third, but now they're going back to being a distant third outside of, say, the Energon stuff and some other things. I try to get the Ghost Machine stuff, but there's just not a lot of people buying that, unfortunately. And that's a shame. Here we have Blood Squad 7, Strike File. This is issue number 1. This is a one-shot. This cover here is by Paul Fry. And then there's a B cover by Corey Walker. Here we have Cobra Commander, issue number 5. This is a second printing. And this is the cool thing they do where they highlight one character or a couple, like they had like, I think they had the Dreadnoughts on one cover. And then behind that they had the logo of the affiliation of the group that they're affiliated with, hence the affiliation. And there you go, you can see Cobra right there. It Happened on Hyde Street, Devour, issue number 1. Now, the artwork in here is by Layla, and I apologize, Layla, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, but we used to, back in the day, exchange. She's in Italy, I believe, and then we were trying to do something where she would, when she would come to New York Comic Con, I'd have her do some Rogue art or something like that, but it just never... It just never came together for some reason, but it will, because I do want a piece of Rogue art by her. But this story is very Californian. If you happen to live in California, then I'm sure you can relate to the things that happen in this particular issue. Hyde Street is very much like, I want to say, the Twilight Zone or even Ice Cream Man or Creepshow, and that's a good thing. And you have that in this issue. Again, this is a one-shot. Check it out. There are 2 covers here. Here's the other one. And this is also by Layla. And, this first one was by Ivan Reyes. Sorry. Ivan Reyes. But she does the art on the interior. And this is the B cover. Maybe you can, I don't know, it does say Devour for New You. So you could probably guess what the theme of the story is. And yes. Either issue is fine. Or rather, either cover is fine. Up next, we have another Ghost Machine book. This is Redcoat, issue number 7. This is a wrap cover by Brian Hitch. I don't know where I got Dan from. And then there's this B cover. I like Hitch's stuff a lot, and he does the interiors of this book, and Brad Anderson does the inking. But this cover by Peralta is just way cooler to me, as far as I'm concerned. But your mileage may vary, so yes. Then we have a book, which unfortunately is a 4-issue miniseries, and that's really ignorant and stupid. This should be an ongoing series for kids to come into the store and buy a book that is age appropriate. This is Sesame Street, Cookie Monster's Dinner Party. This is cover A by Allison Acton. And then we have this B cover by Aaron Hunting. And then this C cover, which essentially is a black and white variant, but they call it the coloring book variant, and I'm fine with that. That's okay. You can do that. But yes, any one of these would be fine. This one I would prefer more than this one, because as much as I've enjoyed the issues themselves, because there's a character that I really, really, really hate in this franchise, and you can see him right there. He's red, and he's right in front of Big Bird. But they have not focused on that character, and that's what I've appreciated in this series. So I can't remember who is the one that puts this out. I want to, not Fantagraphics. Whoever puts it out, this needs to be an ongoing thing. Enough with the, oh wait, there it goes, Oni Press. This needs to be an ongoing series, okay? Stop with this miniseries shit. You need to do this as a regular series, and it has to be monthly, and you have to put it out there so that way when kids come into the store, and I'm talking about little kids, or even, you know what, this is all ages. It's all ages. Never mind this. That's something that you shouldn't do in your store. If you own a store, if you are a retailer and you're watching this, you should know that you don't call these books kids comics. Kids comics. They're all ages, okay? Because saying kids comics to a kid will just drain the enthusiasm that they might have for this book once you say that. So don't do that. Pro tip. But yes, there are 3 covers for this. And then we have Sonic the Hedgehog still trucking, number 74. Now, I apologize. I didn't do my due diligence, but I do know Sonic is also doing some things with DC, and I hope that doesn't mean that IDW is not going to be putting out any more Sonic books, because 74 issues is an accomplishment, especially for Sonic. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. And then we have this cover here. A, B. Back to Image, we have Spawn, issue number 358. This is by Carlos, I guess. I don't know what their first name is, but this is cover A. And this is the Paul Renault, cover B. And it does say Renault variant, but I do know that Renault's first name is Paul. I don't know Carlos's first name. I apologize. But cover A, cover B. And last but not least, for this week, we have Spawn Kills Every Spawn, number 4. This is a penultimate issue of this series, 5 issues. Now, it says here, Rob Sketchcraft Duenas. I don't know if that's his entire name, but that's it right there. And then we have this B cover, which unfortunately it doesn't say who does this B. Is that that's not Mysterio in the middle, is that right there? You have to excuse me, I don't follow Spawn anymore. But yeah, there we go. Okay, that, my friends, is it. That will bring us to this page here. Thank you for tuning in if you're watching this live, and I do apologize yet again for not streaming this at a reasonable day, on a reasonable day. I mean, there were 3 of them, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, and I'm doing it on Wednesday, which is New Comic Book Day. It is now 1:46 my time, so I'm going to end this stream. It has been 41 minutes of me, the majority of which has been me rambling on about the Marvel DC Omnibus. And as I said, if you want to get in touch with me, this is the way you do it. You can either go to direct.me/roguecomics, and that will have a listing of every known to-man way of getting in touch with me. There's the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. The YouTube stream is also on there too. There's also a button that you can actually call me and we can have a verbal conversation. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way, then by all means you can go to Facebook.com/, twitter.com/rocomicsct, or you can go to Instagram.com/rocomics, Twitter.com. You can still go to Twitter.com/rocomics, and I believe it's TikTok.com/user/rocomics, maybe. I don't know. Whatever it is. You know what? Just for all ease and laziness, go to direct.me/rocomics. And that, my friends, is it. I hope you are having a great New Comic Book Day. If your New Comic Book Day has not started yet, then I hope you have a great one. And I thank everybody for watching it. You know what? Do it. Tell me in the comments what you picked up. Let me know if there was anything that was good, that you felt was good and worth mentioning. And I will respond. I promise. I promise. It might not be immediate because today is going to be Wednesday and it will be busy, but I will respond. In the meantime, thank you for watching. If you are doing this on the replay, thanks for watching, and I'm out of here.